So I said it a million times before, and I'm going to say it a million times more. What my goal was with this Collecting Diaries series is a whole transformation, basically, of my own YouTube channel was to talk and discuss movies more, not maybe from a review standpoint, from just an opinion, or talk about topics, talk about whatever. So, for the first time since the reboot of this, I'm just going to talk about one of my favorite collections of films here in the room. You can see a bunch of empty shelves there behind me. That's because I'm going to be going over, talking about Arrow Deluxe box sets. These were one of the first, like, most boutique style things I started collecting. Arrow, and more, specifically these limited editions, were what kind of like launched my interest into collector sets and all kinds of stuff, all the extras, all the goodies, all of that stuff. It was these in particular that started that kind of obsession or collection thing. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. So I figured, just gonna sit down and chit chat about it. I was cleaning the shelves. I was like, man, I haven't done like a collection video in a while. I was doing some backlog watching of Christian's channel, Planet CHH, and he did a video where he showed off his Arrow limited editions, and I was like, man, these are so cool. Like, we talk about them a lot, but I feel like I could talk about them more and not tire it out. So next to me I have everyone. I have no standard editions. Those are all this way right there, and I showed off the Arrow Chucky edition in another video that's new, but other than that, this is Second Sight, Vinegar Syndrome, and stuff back there. So I have my Alani Dream Float to keep me going, and yeah, there's no order to this. Once we get into the regular limited editions, I just have them in alphabetical order, but I'm just gonna kick it off with a newer one. This is the Conan Chronicles. I'll show this off, even though it's probably been showed off a million times before. There's that. Really cool set. I remember when this got announced, I didn't grow up really a big Conan person. My family didn't really watch a lot of it. I just knew it because of Arnold and my stepdad. His obsession with like watching these like macho, manly movies, and this was one that was always on that he enjoyed. When this got announced, I remember seeing the two individual ones. So you had the Barbarian Destroyer 2 limited editions, and I was set on getting that. I was like, yeah, those are going to be awesome on the shelf. And then they announced this Chronicles box, and I was like, well, have to. You know what I mean? I was like, I gotta grab that. Funny story about this, I went to Barnes & Noble to get it on launch day, because it was during the buy one, get one half off Arrow sale they were doing, and the cashier was like, man, I've sold like 20 of these this morning. I'm like, yeah, get yourself one. Have some fun with it. But this is really cool. So inside of here, we have this big old thick box. Big ass booklet. This thing is massive. It is 117 pages long. And I mean, I haven't even touched this set yet, unfortunately. But I imagine this is just the two books and the two individual ones put together. We have your two posters in here, and then you have your set for Conan the Barbarian, as well as Conan the Destroyer in here on 4K. So super cool sets. I mean, just Arrow, the reason we talk about them so much is because they do such a nice job, and this is one of those sets that just like killer, you know what I mean? I wish I got my hands on, the last time I think they did a double set like this was with Demons 1 and 2. I wish I got my hands on that limited one. I have the standard ones back there, but super cool set there. I still need to dive into that. Wonder if I can stack these out of frame. So next up, another recent release. We have the Arrow Video Enter the Video Store. This is the standard edition. I missed out on the deluxe one. And this was a cool set for me because the only film in here that I knew of was Dolls. It was the only one. And I had missed the Scream Factory one. I had been looking for it with the slip for a decent price. No luck. And I saw this got announced, and I was really slow to the jump. And then I went to Barnes & Noble, and they had the standard one as part of the half-off sale. So I paid like $35 or something for this. Super cool. The only one in here that I've watched since is the Dungeon Master. And that was really cool. It was actually directed by, I think, 5 different directors, if I remember correctly, right? The Dungeon Master. And I watched whatever the first version was on the disc, which I think was the only one that was uncut. But awesome set. Super excited to dive into this more. I just hate that it does this. It sits sideways. So that's Enter the Video Store. One of my favorite Arrow sets ever. This is the Herschel Gordon Lewis Feast box set. I don't have the big serial box set. I don't feel like putting out the money for that. This is... When I was a kid, I was recently... Not recently, a couple months ago, I was on an episode of The Disconnected with Ryan, and we talked about bonus features that were really important to us, bonus features that we loved, and we talked about how on the Final Destination 2 DVD, back when it was only DVD, there was a bonus feature on there that was about the effects of the movie, and the first, 15 minutes of that was actually a history of pretty much practical effects and gore, starting with the Grand Guignol. That's what introduced me at that time to Herschel Gordon Lewis, because they showed a ton of clips from Blood Feast and 2000 Maniacs, stuff like that. And I remember being obsessed with this, having to track this down. I found a couple of them. Gruesome Twosome I found, A Taste of Blood I watched, but because I think, let me see, yeah, and then Moonshine Mountain was another one that I saw. And I bought this used, I don't know, 5 years ago, I think. And I'm pretty sure, let me see. Yeah, so this does have The Godfather of Gore, which is an episode of the documentary series focusing on Lewis's films. So that's one I've been definitely intrigued to check out. I'm actually going to do a little watch series of this year. It's been on my list to check out. But that's just a Feast, a little box. I got some, it got ripped up during shipment. I gotta cover that, but it's okay. It is what it is. This Arrow knocking it out of the park with these. And last but not least, this isn't as impressive anymore, but it's still one that I hold very sacred, and that is the Scarlet Box. This was the edition that really pushed it over the top for me. I liked the Quartet of Torment, but I just didn't feel the need to upgrade. I think all 3 Hellraiser films look great on this. I figured one day if I get it for cheap, Hellraiser 4 with the new version, I'll get one day. But this is still one of my favorite sets that I own. This thing is an absolute behemoth. The artwork is incredible. I much prefer the artwork on this than the Quartet of Torment. Everything about this release I love so much, and that's what's really important, is more than how much I just like what's here, what this was to me at my time in collecting and finding this and getting it in hand, and it being, for years before the Quartet of Torment, one of my absolute holy grail pieces that I love and admire. And I don't think, even if one day I do upgrade to the Quartet of Torment, I don't think I'm ever actually going to be able to get rid of the set. It just has that value with me, So just an incredible set from Arrow there. I'm going to try to get stuff out of the way. It's going to pop up there, but little drink time. All right, so into the deluxe editions. First up, American Werewolf in London. This is another one that I did not upgrade to 4K because I actually bought this Blu-ray set before the 4K announcement, and I just didn't feel like double dipping. Super cool release. I love the cover on the book here. I think the only thing missing from this set when I bought it was the poster. Yeah, it just didn't have the poster. But this is the alternative artwork on the inside. So it's okay that I'm missing the poster. That's alright. Half time they just sit in here until they fall apart anyway. And then here is that front box art we're all super fans of. So great release there. This was a cool one. This is the Candyman 4K release. This was a movie that I had been kind of wishing I could get something more deluxe of for a long time. I had the standard Universal Blu-ray, and I kept thinking, man, I wish we would get something more. I do know that they did this set on a Blu-ray in the UK. I didn't feel like doing that, so I ordered this as soon as it was announced, and it's just super beautiful set. Check out that cover art. It's the same art as the Blu-ray set. Let me flip this over. So you have your poster. It's going to be the same for all of them, but love this artwork on the front of the booklet. Keep flipping things over, and then you have your inside art as well. Candyman, this movie, I can't even begin to put into words, I think, how important this movie was for horror at the time. You know, in the early 90s, there wasn't tons of great stuff coming out. And then Candyman came out and kind of really brought a statement to horror. You know, we're coming out of the decade of slashers. And sure, there was, you know, politics mixed all around in the 80s for slashers, but Candyman came out and really brought it to another level. Tony Todd's performance, Bernard Rose's direction, the focus on not only the racial issues, but the economical issues and the setting and everything else. This movie is still very, very traumatizing even to this day. It's not... There are movies from this era that don't age well at all, and I think Candyman holds itself just as well right now as it did in the 90s. And I think the prequel as well that came out a couple of years ago is still fantastic. So that is Candyman. This is one I haven't seen yet. This is Carlito's Way. I actually kind of forgot I had this. Let's see. No back art. Oh yeah, Arrow doing the no back art now. So we have the booklet. Awesome art. I remember picking this up. I think I was watching a documentary that talked about this movie, and that's what made me interested to pick it up and check it out. But this had just got announced, so I pre-ordered it. I know I kind of feel ashamed that I haven't seen it yet, but that's okay. That means there's still time for me to discover it. You have the inside artwork, and this is the 4K. So on this we have a 4K and then extras. Let's see what's going on here in the way of extras. We got brand new audio commentaries, brand new interviews, brand new look at New York locations. So yeah, I mean, I'm a huge Brian De Palma fan, so I'm sure this is going to be excellent. But I'm actually going to put this kind of in a different pile here. Let's see. That way I remember to watch it, because put that in there. Losing my voice a little bit. What do we got? Oh, Carrie. This is the Carrie 4K set that came out not too long ago. I think this is the only one I have that does this. Yeah, this is the only one I have so far that has this sleeve. So this sleeve comes off, and then on the inside you have your box, which I freaking love this artwork. Absolutely love it. And I love these too, because this is... Obviously, you can see the gloss next to the matte. Even though I still prefer the matte, I think the gloss is nice. And having this to keep everything in is also very nice. This was an overseas release that I had been contemplating getting for a long time, and I held out. I was like, yeah, I knew it had to come eventually, and then it did, as all things are. So the poster is actually hanging up behind me, but here is your booklet. And then your case. And I'm pretty sure this is all the same bonus features as that other one. I don't think there's anything new. And this is still an overseas release, but 4K being natively region free. I picked this up off of Diabolic. Haven't checked it out yet. I've heard amazing things about the transfer, though. Just so nice with this slip. The fact that I don't have to worry about anything falling out. It's all just nicely housed in here. It's beautiful. Alright, what do we got? Cat of Nine Tails. Some Dario Argento. Check that out. This is one that I actually haven't watched yet. I went from... When I bought this, I think I had just gotten Bird with the Crystal Plumage, and I watched that, and then I got Deep Red, and I watched that, and this one just kind of got, like, I don't know, looked over, I guess. So I actually haven't checked this one out yet, but... Oh, the poster decided to stay in there. But it's one that I need to. It's on my list. It's really hard. Like, you buy so much stuff, and then things just go by the wayside, and Argento, as much as I love him at night when I sit down to watch movies, I do need to be in a certain headspace to kind of take it in and especially the earlier Argento work. But excellent release here. Cat o' Nine Tails. Yep, there we go. Deep Red. Not my favorite Argento, but not my least favorite either. It falls right in the middle for me. There is one of the creepiest moments in movie history in this, and it involves, if you've seen Deep Red, you know it's a doll. It's a walking, talking, or I don't know if he talks, walking, running doll. Yeah, creepy as hell. It enters the room and starts running. This movie is so freaky. And I remember talking to somebody about this movie, and they're like, yeah, I don't remember, too much about it. And I was like, well, what do you remember? And he was like, a fountain. I was like, okay. Yeah, there is a big fountain in it. I've actually never seen the export version, which is only 105 minutes. I only watched the 127-minute Italian version. So, Deep Red. We need more Argento on the limited edition box sets. Opera. One of my favorites from my childhood, we have Donnie Darko. Yeah, this set is awesome, right? I feel like this didn't sell as well, which is, it sucks. This artwork's great. There's the back of the box artwork. It's sick. They did have a great edition of this on Blu-ray, and then they upgraded this to the 4K. And I feel like this didn't sell well, because I thought I saw this a lot in like resale sites and stuff, more than I see most other limited editions. But it comes with a hardback book, because the only way to really write about Richard Kelly's Donnie Darko is to is to put it in a hardbound book, because this movie makes no goddamn sense to anybody. And I don't care any of the write-ups in here. I know there's some interviews. Any of the write-ups in here, there's no way you're going to be able to explain any of this to me in any sort of way to make it make any sense. To me, Donnie Darko is just such a product of like the time, Jake Gyllenhaal, his sister Maggie Gyllenhaal, this very strange, like, I feel like people have memories of Donnie Darko that might not ever see it. People were always like, oh yeah, Patrick Swayze is in that. And everybody knows Frank, the bunny. You've seen that. It's a pretty noticeable pop culture reference, I would think, at this point. The director's cut of this is actually 20 minutes longer at 133 minutes. Just it's such an interesting movie that I love. And even if I don't understand it, I still love the weirdness and that kind of offbeat pattern of it, and the just odd storytelling choices, and it's just such an interesting experience. Donnie Darko, to me, that word is actually probably more fitting than any other. It's an experience to me. I don't think it's a perfect movie. I'm also, though, not a fan of movies that hand you everything. We, as society, we're not idiots. We don't need to be hand-fed every bit of information to enjoy something. You can be left with a lot of mystery, and I think Donnie Darko is the definition of being left with mystery. So I love and I cherish that set from Arrow. This is another one. I just got this not too long ago. This is Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. Come on. Awesome set from Arrow. This is an overseas release. One that's kind of perplexing why they would put out a 4K of this. This movie looks best probably on VHS. But this set's really cool because inside of here there's a booklet. So you have your standard Arrow booklet with the write-ups and stuff. That's what the booklet looks like. But then we have original storyboards in here. So I'll try to... So really, really cool to watch these. I can't believe this movie was even storyboarded. but it was. The thing that's cool to me is just the treatment. Giving this movie a modern day respect. Because while I do think this is a sick movie, I think that it 100% deserves to have a nice release. Did it need a 4K? I don't think so. But I don't work for Arrow. Maybe it was maybe they got a break on something and they were able to do it. I know 4K is natively very expensive. It does not sell as well. They probably could have released this on DVD, and while they had a lot of complaints, it would probably sell more than any other because DVD still outsells both Blu-ray and 4K in the market. But super awesome release. I'm glad that it went to this level. The poster isn't here. It's actually hanging up in the corner of the room. But beautiful, beautiful release from Arrow. Time for some Alani Nu. Listen, I don't want to hear it. I watched Ken from Mid-Level Media drink Ghost and C4 on his channel. Okay? It's a lot of talking. Next up, I'm just going to show these as a twofer. We have The Hills of Eyes and Hills of Eyes Part 2. These are just the Blu-rays. I prefer Alexandra Aja's remake over the original, though I do like the original Hills of Eyes. Hills of Eyes Part 2 I don't hate. I think that there's definitely some shining moments in it, especially when the guy gets off the motorcycle and you can see the string. Whatever. Dog POV, dog dreams, dog flashbacks, all kinds of crazy stuff happening in 2. Wes Craven did not want to make this movie. So the product that we got is the product that we got. Yeah, super happy to have both these. I'm glad they did both because they look great next to each other. They look great on the shelves. So still fantastic sets from Arrow. This is a newer one. Lucio Fulci's House by the Cemetery. Super cool that this has this treatment. Previously it was Blue Underground, I want to say, which I didn't have. So when this 4K got announced, I jumped on it as quickly as I can. I'm in a bit of a Fulci mood right now, you could say. I just watched The Devil's Honey last night, and obviously had a ton of fun with that. But super happy that this got this treatment. I love this inner art here. Let me show you that. Love that art right there. But great, it's one disc. Just your nice 4K. In this, let me see, there was one... yeah, the audio commentary I want to watch is with Troy Howarth. He's the author of Splintered Visions, the films of Lucio Fulci. So I definitely want to watch that. Ton of interviews on here, Q&As. Stephen Thrower, who's the author of Beyond Terror, which is another films of Lucio Fulci book. I just watched his conversation last night about Devil's Honey. So that guy's always got a ton of info. Beautiful release. They did just put out City of the Living Dead, which kind of matches the color color scheme here, but I didn't pick it up. I have the Gates of Hell Cauldron 4K. So, but beautiful set. Very happy to have that. Last House on the Left. Wes Craven. I know this is Convicted Cinephile Derek's favorite movie, or one of his favorites. I equally love it. It's not a movie that I will... When you go to somebody and you say, hey, Last House on the Left is one of my favorite films, I have the poster hanging up right there, and I hung it on this side because my fiance works from home, and I don't want her to be on a video call and I'm looking in the background like, what's that poster you got going on back there? I thought that would be pretty bad. I love The Last House on the Left, just like I love I Spit on Your Grave. That does not mean these are frequent watches for me. I watch this movie once, maybe every 10 years. It's a brutal, brutal experience. Wes Craven's approach to this was very, very, very heavy-handed, but at the same time, the movie is wrought with the consequences of our characters and what they do. So, yes, there is an element of the disgusting nature of it, but then there is a little bit of that revenge and a little bit of that character story where we're seeing characters that are disgusted with themselves and just not feeling proud of what they've done. And trust me, they get what's coming to them. So, great set. I know this did get... I think it's got a 4K release, and I didn't upgrade. This is still the original Blu-ray one. Hey, The Lighthouse. Dude, this was such a cool... If it'll focus. This was such a cool announcement from Arrow Video. I had the Blu-ray, and then I went to the A24 shop 4K, which had none of the bonus features that I wanted. So then I bought this set, and I just love everything about this set. Mostly because of the selling point to me, because this movie looks fantastic on 4K, by the way. But the selling point to me was this this bonus feature, Art of Darkness, a brand new in-depth documentary on the film production's themes, influences, including new interviews with co-writer-director Robert Eggers, director of photography Jareen Blasch, production designer Craig Lathrop, costume designer Linda Muir, and author Guy Adams and Alexandra Benedict. That is what sold me on this release. So I did a review on this on my channel a long time ago, right after this came out. I still love that release. One of my favorites. More Robert Eggers, please. Another one I still haven't watched yet. That is David Cronenberg's Naked Lunch on 4K. I picked this up kind of like at the tail end of it. I started getting wind that this was selling out, and I ended up picking it up. And I think it was on sale, so I only paid like $30 for it. But another beautiful release. There is your front cover, and then I love the back. Just exterminate all rational thought. So great release there, Naked Lunch. Another awesome one. This is Phantom of the Mall, Eric's Revenge. This is a movie that at the time this came out, I had memories of. Like I could remember scenes of. Some way, somehow in the history of my life, I watched this movie. And when this came out, when this got announced, I jumped on it so fast. I was like, man, my brain remembers that movie, and I jumped on getting this. So I'm super happy I did, because this is pretty sought after. The only thing of this I haven't seen yet is the fan cut. What is it? The fan cut. So the fan cut, which combines both the theatrical and TV cuts. That's the only thing I haven't watched yet on this. But yeah, one of my favorite Arrow Deluxe Limited Editions there. These two are... I remember when I got, especially this one that I'm about to show, a lot of people reached out and like, man, how did you find that? You know, I don't want to pay crazy eBay prices. I got mine off Mercari. It's Reanimator. So check this out. There's that art. If it'll focus. There's that art. This is before, like, this is the kind of like OG way that Arrow did this. So you still had the hard box there, and then inside of here there's actually a comic. So you got this big old thing, and it's a comic of the movie, I'm pretty sure, right? This is just just a comic of the movie. That's it. So super cool there. But in this one, it's a little like opener. So this opens up, and we have our art cards in there. So this is what it looks like when you first pop it open, and then it opens up like this. So we'll try to show it how I can. And then here's the theatrical version, or the unrated version, and the integral version. And super cool artwork all along this thing. I hate that these just fall out though. Super awesome artwork. Like, I love the simplicity of this artwork so much. This is one of my favorite releases that I have in my collection in general. And then to team up right next to it, we have, which by the way, Reanimator is one of my favorite movies of all time. But to team up next to that, we have Bride of Reanimator, the sequel that I don't love as much, but I do like. It's way better than Beyond Reanimator. Same idea with this set though. So we have a comic, this one in black and white. First, I love the eyeball hand on the back there. Let me put this away. But then same thing. First of all, like, great artwork. Check this out. This is the front of that little collapsible thing there. And then this opens up. And in here we have a little booklet, the J card, stuff like that. And then crack this open. We have the unrated, we have the R-rated, and then we have the... I hate these things in here. Let me get that out. And then we have the... Let's see. Unrated disc too. Okay. This is such an odd choice for a collapsible disc, though. Let me see, because I'm trying to remember what's on this set. Yeah, that's right. We have the DVD and the DVD and the Blu-ray of the unrated, and then a Blu-ray of the R-rated. So super cool, though. I mean, these sets are highly sought after. Reanimator has had no luck getting like really any other releases to this caliber. Neither Reanimator nor Bride of Reanimator. So super happy to have both of them. This is what they look like slapped together. So we'll put that over there. Time for a drink. My dog just sneezed. Don't mind that. Now he's itching himself. Next up we have RoboCop. This is the deluxe edition. I bought this from a guy who was selling like a local pickup around me. I had the Steelbook. I actually still have it. And I decided to upgrade. He was selling this. It was sealed at the time. Love RoboCop. We have Tremors and Tremors 2. Love how these sets go together, by the way. It's been probably 20 years since I've seen Tremors 2, but we did watch Tremors and loved it. Had a blast. If I remember correctly, I think the first Tremors I only have the Blu-ray of. Yeah, so I have the Blu-ray, but then Tremors 2, I got the 4K. So, how'd that happen? I don't know. But yeah, gorgeous, gorgeous sets there. I think we're going to get all 7 of those movies in deluxe editions. True Romance. This was such a welcomed surprise from Arrow Video getting a movie like this, and I don't think this sold exceptionally well. I remember seeing this and the Steelbook one like for sale forever, even after I bought my copy. But such a great release. Absolutely love this artwork. We have, and this is my most recent one, Waterworld. I've never seen this, and I got it at Barnes & Noble during the 50% off sale, because I figured if I'm going to watch this, well, A, it's in 4K, but B, I figured I have to watch the 178-minute cut, right? Yeah. Never seen it. I don't know. And then last but not least, Wild Things. I remember being so excited at this announcement. This is one of those movies that was sort of like... I was born in 91. So when this came out, this was what? Oh my god, what year did this come out? 98 this came out. And I remember seeing the DVD and thinking like, okay, one day I have to check this out. Matt Dillon, Kevin Bacon, Neve Campbell is a monster in this movie. She is... I love her as Sydney in the Scream franchise. I love her even more in Wild Things. Who was it? Denise Richards, right? Was that? Is that who that is in this? Denise Richards? Kevin Bacon... Yeah, Denise Richards. Yep. I don't think she's a great actor, but Bill Murray is awesome in here as the lawyer. This is just such a good release, and a movie that I was very happy to kind of see conversation around again, because, like I said, when I was young, this movie was kind of like forbidden. I remember watching the first time I'd ever seen clips from this movie. I think it was online, and I remember it was like to the point where I was like, man, if my parents walk in, I'm slamming my computer shut, right? It was to that point. But I've watched it a couple times since it came in. I friggin' love this movie. I love that it got a release like this. So, that's all my arrows. 33 minutes later, we got through all of my arrows. I definitely like... I've heard some rumors, some talking about Arrow kind of leaning into the direct, like wanting to get away from the horror stuff. And another reason I wanted to do this is because we have Crimson Peak coming out. Mine's getting delivered next week, but I think they're really they are. I think one of the reasons why boutique labels are treated the way they are now with that prestige. So many companies now do the hard box with the booklet or the posters and the art cards and all of that extra stuff. So many companies do that. Now you even have studios doing that as well, which is great. They see that it sells, and most of the time, they're slapping steelbooks in there, but still, I know I buy them. So such such an inspiring label. I really hope that what I've been hearing doesn't come to fruition for them, because I think that they're still one of the best in the game. I think when it comes to bonus features, when it comes to your supplements, when it comes to the extras, when it comes to the books, I don't think everybody can try to do it to that level, and there are companies that do it really well, but I still think Arrow is top of that poll. Just top class every single time. So let me know down below what your favorite Arrow Deluxe Edition is, and let's get that conversation going. Thanks for hanging out. I'll catch you on the What a weird outro. I'll catch you on the next episode of the Collecting Diaries. Later.